How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another episode of FTB Infinity Evolved. Hope you guys have been enjoying Minecraft in the series so far. If you guys have, you guys know to smash that like button. If you haven't already, consider subscribing. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns for me, leave that down below. And let's get into today's episode. So, at the end of the last episode, we finished getting to the Tier 5 Blood Altar. We mined out the room a bit, we added in our beacons, and we set everything up. And then I also went ahead and added some more of the capacity stones, just so that way we could have more capacity for the tier 5. So now we have 80,000 life points total. I did see a couple of the comments that we could set up a blood farm for the blood god and skulls for the skull throne, but we're not going to work on that today. I'll probably work on that between episodes, just because it's just going to be essentially a mob grinder. If you do want to see me do it, I can, but otherwise I'll probably just do it between episodes. But let me know down below if you want me to show you the whole thing or just for me to build it and then go over it. But yeah, so the blood altar is on hold until we can get the crystals, but we can't get those crystals we need until we do more of the arcane infusion, because the arcane infusion is kind of where we're at right now for the list of things we need to get done, because we're going to need to get Gaia pylons, so that way we can get Gaia Spirit, which is something we need for the creative mana pool. And the Gaia pylons get created, we get the slates, which we need the tier 5 for, and then we can technically get the ingots and the stone and the pixie dust and all this stuff. We can get it from the arcane infusion, but notice it is a moderate instability or stability. I don't know if that's telling us how stable it is or how unstable it is. Regardless, we need to make sure that way we don't cause any negative side effects from this thing. So we're going to have to work on stabilizing it. And one way of stabilizing it is using either magical candles, the like wax things from Thaumcraft, the crystals, or we can use mob heads, which I know we have a bunch up front. I think we even have some. Let's see. How many do we have? Oh, yeah, we have plenty of Enderman ones. So I'm not worried at all. We'll probably just actually use these instead. I don't know if there's a different percentage as to which ones are more beneficial. So I don't know if it makes sense for us to use the candles, the crystals, or the heads. I'll have to look and see, do they all just do the same? I think they do. I think we can just use any number of crystals, heads, or candles. Which, if that's the case, I'm just going to use heads. I don't know if it's also, it wants variety, because I know some mods prefer you to have like different crystals, well, in this case crystals, but like different items, so different varieties. So like here we have 6 different crystals, or if it wants us to have just X amount for stability. I'm not sure. I'll have to look into that specifically. The Gaia pylons, also just quick side note, is to get Gaia Spirit to fight the Gaia boss. I also want to do Outer Lands, which is part of Thaumcraft. However, we need Eldritch Eyes, which I don't know if we have. We have 2. I believe we need 4. So we're going to have to go hunting for more of these. But once we might be able to, I don't think we can craft them yet. I think we have to go to the Outer Lands and then we can craft them, if I remember correctly. But again, I'll have to look at, triple check my notes on that. And then finally, we have to look into extreme crafting. I don't know if there's actually a crafting table we need. Extreme melter. Let's see. Extreme. Maybe not. Well, there's some way we do it. Again, I have not ever used extreme crafting. I've used I forget what it is, but there's some different crafting tables we can utilize. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and look into setting up this room a little bit, because I'm gonna need a mine out below this, and then I'm also gonna look at making a chimney, just so that way the arcane stuff has somewhere to go and vent, basically. We can put the stabilizers underneath and above it. I'm not sure how many we're going to end up needing for this process, so I'm going to see if I can find a number on that. And then I think we're also going to need to add a couple more pedestals. So I'm going to look into those things, and then we'll be right back. All right, and we're back. So 2 important changes. Number 1, we now have a chimney. So any flux that gets made is going to go to space. Not great for the environment, but you know what? This is Minecraft. we're not dealing with the environment right now. And then to stabilize this behemoth, we have a lot of Enderman heads. Now, okay, 2 notes. Number one is technically we can do this. However, it's important to note that the more of the same item you're using to stabilize with does have diminishing returns. So it's important that if you do have a lot of other heads, so we technically, I guess, could use some zombie heads, that will have a better effect at stabilizing your altar than, say, this many Enderman heads. What I've seen some people do is they use candles, and so you can dye the candles different colors, and that counts as being different items. So you can say use one whole layer of red candles, a layer of white, a layer of blue, and so on and so forth. Another thing that I see people do just to really make sure that they have enough stabilization is they go through and they do like one side of the altar. Oh, but I didn't mean to go that high. So they'll do like one side of one of the layers, say blue candles, they'll do the other side as red candles, then they'll do a layer of zombie heads and creeper heads, skeleton heads, and do it that way, because then you'll really cover your bases. This should be sufficient for what we're going to be doing today, but just note that you will get a better return if you have more variety. I didn't, so we're going to stick with this. If I find that it isn't enough, then I'll go ahead and make candles. I probably will end up making candles anyway, but that's that for now. So now that we have hopefully a more stabilized, oh, I also went ahead and made some more pedestals as well, because we should probably end up needing those. We are going to need to get more jars. I think we'll have to put more over here and here, or I might expand the room a little bit just to put the jars on the outside. I haven't quite thought about that just yet, but now so the reason we're doing this part is, so if you remember, for the Gaia pylons, because that's kind of what I'm thinking we're going to work towards for now, we need to get Modus, the metal one, Fabritico, and the magic one. I think we have, let's see, Ordo, Era, those are the 6 base ones. Potentia, Ignis, Modus, Arbiter. Oh yeah, so we have Modus and the magic one. So that means we need Fabrico and Metallium. So we are going to need some more jars. So I think what we'll do is we will just go ahead and mine, do something like this. Right, mine out the walls. Probably do something like that, just so that way there's also a little bit more walking around room. And this shouldn't affect the altar all that much in terms of stability. Okay, then we'll put wall, something like that. I don't need that. Where's my builder's wand? Builder's wand is amazing. Highly, highly recommend. If you haven't already made one, I recommend making one. They are incredible. They speed up your building time. They're just all around really good. This thing is what has helped. The only problem is when you get this, technically there are controls you can do to change it, but I just do that because I find it that it's quicker than trying to switch like the brush size. There's some other blocks we have to clean up. We'll do that here in a sec. So we are going to need some more jars. I believe we can just move these, right? Yes. Cool. Okay, so let's do one there. I think you can actually put these on shelves, if I remember correctly. And then you can get like more in a certain area. I also saw a couple designs for like a full-blown candle room. I don't know if that's something we'll look into doing, but either way, it is. Actually, let's do. I like that idea. Right, so they're kind of hidden. We could probably even do a disappearing wall or something to like reveal this. That'd be interesting. I know there's blocks we can use that have that type of effect. Do we have 2 things of Ignis? We do. Interesting. How peculiar. Alright, so let's go ahead and grab some more basalt. We are going to need to get the Essentia. We'll probably have to do that here in a sec. Get some items melting up. I think we can get the metal one from iron. Let's see. Let's throw these things in. Let's go ahead and get some blocks of quarried stone and then vial. Well, there's all the Essentia vials. I thought we had more vials on us. Maybe we're out. Okay, looks like we're out. I do want to get some more jars, though. Jar. Warded jar. So we need mana, glass, great wood. Okay. Glass. We have some mana glass. I think we can just do that. Oh, here's the... Never mind. I don't need it anymore. We have plenty. Because again... Oh, wait. No. Those are for the jars. That's what we need. I'm just being a crackhead and completely forgetting what we need. Alright, so great wood. Let's go ahead and grab... Yeah, just honestly probably grab like another stack of it. Can't... Oh, great wood turns into slabs from those, which... Okay, so let's go head over here. I think we should still have enough mana. Let's see. Nope, those are both empty. This guy should still have a bunch. Yep. There we go. Let's say there's plenty of stored mana there from when we were doing all the Terra Steel. Awesome. Okay, so now... Oh, but we also need mana glass. So let's go throw all this on here as well. Let's go like that, like that, like that. It's always fun to watch. It is important. I wouldn't recommend doing this with too many items because you can cause some lag on a server. Luckily, I'm playing on a local server, so technically there can still be lag, but not to the extent that you would see on, say, like a more dedicated thing. Oh, do we not? Can we craft it in this? Will this act like a regular crafting table? It will. Awesome. Okay. Okay, let's do that. And then lastly that. Cool. And then we can go like that. Actually, we should probably do... however many slabs we can get. Let's do that. Stack of slabs. Like that. Hopefully our wand has charge. I actually don't know where our wand is. Is our wand in our bag of holding? It is not in our bag. Okay. Copper. I think that's the copper one we had. Okay, so throw it in here. Cool. The game didn't break. It kind of broke. Okay, that's fine. So now let's go ahead and put up a bunch of the jars. Remember, we're going to need the jars for storage of things. Now let's go ahead and throw something like that. Probably do the ceiling before we put in all the jars. I believe you can automate all of this as well using the pipe, so you can put the Essentia into the jars automatically. That could be something we look into. I don't know how that would affect our current design. I suppose we could probably put it through the wall. I don't know if it has to go through the like lid, so like into the top, or if we can just connect it through the back. Because if we can just connect it through the back, then we'll probably just do that. Or even, yeah, actually, that'd probably be how we do it, come to think of it. Now, I know there's not necessarily this many different types of Essentia. It gives us plenty of, like, room to work with in case we get too much of one or another. Does mean we have to kind of know where things are, though. Which does kind of suck. But... okay. Almost empty, almost empty. Okay. Everything should be empty, right? Yep. So I'm gonna go ahead and get up all the Essentia we're gonna end up needing, and I will be right back. Also gonna try to get some of this organized. Okay, and we are back. So, went ahead and melted up. Turns out enchanting tables are great for getting a bunch of Essentia. So I got us a crap ton of the Fabrico, Modus, more of the metal one, and then more of the magic one. Yeah, I think we're gonna look into labels, because some of them I know what they are, like the Fabrico, the Ignis, or the Terra. But then you get these two, Modus and the metal one, look exactly the fucking same. Like maybe slightly different, but yeah. I don't like having to try to figure that one out. Also, I think what we might end up doing is do like three in a row, or 3 in a column is for one. I'll have to see if that's enough all the way around, because I'll use a lot more that way, but we shall see. So now I think we're ready to make the 4 Gaia pylons we need for the thing. So it looks like we do one in the middle, a dragon stone over here, one of those here, and like this. All the pink shit you just get from the Elven portal, so it just requires a lot of mana to keep open while you do your trades, and then you throw stuff in similar to the other. Then if I remember correctly, we just go... wait. Bonk. So part of having this thing be stable, or more stable, just reduces any of the negative effects, and some of those negative effects can be anything from like lightning, the items disappearing and getting turned into flux, or an explosion. But the explosion, I heard, is very rare, and because this recipe is a moderate difficulty, that I think it's 4 or 5 like ticks of instability that we have to negate, and for every 10 of a stable item we have, that reduces it by 1. Now again, remember, the more of the same, it does reduce that, so we don't necessarily get 10 to 1. I think for the first one it's 10 to 1. I don't know what the reductions are for the remaining, like if it then turns to like we need 15 to 1 and then 20 to 1. Not sure, but it should be reduced enough that I'm not worried. It's also a moderate one, so you probably could get away with doing it without any stabilization, but of course I don't ever like to chance things. And we will need to do this 4 times. It's kind of fun to watch the items get disintegrated. I would like to see it like manually take 1 pixel at a time away. I think that would also be interesting to, like, an interesting visualization. I think it would be hard to implement, but you never know. It'd be something cool to see nonetheless. Yay. We got ourselves a Gaia pylon, so let's actually go ahead and complete that quest. I don't know if it wants us to make all 4. No, it does want us to make all 4. I only detect I have 1. That's a Gaia pylon. Whatever. So let's go ahead and get the rest of these made up. I'm going to go ahead and probably call it here, because we're not going to have time for much else in today's recording session, unfortunately. But I'm going to get all these made up, and then I'll see you guys in the next one. So, thanks all for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, you guys don't do smash that like button. If you haven't already, consider subscribing, because it really does help out the channel. And as always, if you learned something, leave a question, comment, or concern down below. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. Peace out.